also seems to go back to the issue of trust that you talked about at the beginning. People obviously don't trust government to deal with these problems. They don't really trust you, and they certainly don't trust the media. I mean, with the trust debt, how do we get that back so that people are willing to engage in a conversation about solutions?
They trust each other, though. And that's also, I'll just say exactly how I feel about that, which is that I've been on the road for the last 3 weeks with more than 200 of our customers, had one-on-one conversation with them. And I have to tell you that it really impacted me, and I'm going to start talking about this more, and talked about this with our employees as well. And maybe it will help you and your companies if I just kind of tell you how I'm feeling, which is that usually when I'm talking to our employees, we have a name for our culture inside our company. I don't know if you have a name for your culture. Do you name your culture? Do you just call it the GM culture, like HP used to call it the HP way or something?
No, in fact, I try to avoid the word culture. I talk about behaviors.
Behaviors?
Yeah, it's our behaviors.
Our behaviors.
But why? But say why you try and avoid the word culture.
Well, because if I work on my behaviors, I could do that right this minute.
Yeah.
When people talk about culture, it's a 5-year journey, it's a 10-year journey. Well, I'm kind of a results-oriented person, so I want something now. So if we all start behaving, in the direction to take us where we want to go. So that's why we focus on behaviors. How are we behaving every day?
That's really nice. So I think that, in that light, we've been saying to our company, we were talking about our culture and things that are important. We're very fast growing. So, more than half our employees have been with us less than 18 months. So that's, our challenge, and as we continue to just have meteoric growth, we want to make sure that it's clear, what our culture is and what our values is, and the things like trust and transparency, that's at the height of our hierarchy. But the thing, here's my big revelation being on the road, and I had said this to our employees when we had this offsite in the summer. I brought in a number of our executives, individual contributors, and special interest group leaders, and I said, look, this is our culture, this is our family, but our family is also our customers. Our customers are also our family, and our partners are our family. And in Hawaii, we have this word Ohana, and that also is the name of our culture. We call it Ohana. We labeled our behaviors Ohana. And so we said, no, our Ohana is not just our employees in this room. Our Ohana is also our customers as our family, and our partners are our family.
You have a very big Ohana.
We have a very big and growing Ohana. And I look at it that way, and I said to our employees, you treat our customers the way you would treat your family. That's the behavior we want. You treat the partners, you behave the way you treat your family. And if that isn't how you're doing it, and I know not all software and technology companies do that, we won't name any names, then we aren't being Salesforce, because that's how Salesforce behaves, to your point. We treat our customers and our partners and ourselves as if it is our own family. For those of you who don't know, Salesforce.com is the largest provider of customer relationship management systems in the world today. And last year we grew at a 37% growth on a constant currency basis. We are really a very extremely innovative company. We were voted by Forbes the most innovative company the last 2 years in a row. And we've really focused on how do we use these incredible changes that are going on in the technology industry, things like the dramatic shifts in social networks, mobile technology, big data, the development of communities, as well as how every single one of our customers, including every company that's up on this stage, is becoming a software company, and also how it redefines trust between our customers and their customers. And this continuous focus on innovation continues to be really our passion at the company.
From your point of view?
Well, I mean, we all want to innovate. This is important. All of us want to have innovation as one of our core values in our company. Who doesn't want that? And, one of the challenges is that as, your company goes farther along through history and gets bigger, you always have this kind of, innovation neurosis. Am I innovating enough? Am I going fast enough? Am I going to come up with the new ideas first? And you don't want to be known as the fast follower. You want to be known as the innovator. And you want to be the one who's going to have the new idea and have, I coach a lot of executives on how to, maintain that, within themselves, how to maintain that, what I call beginner's mind. It's one of the reasons why, and if you haven't done that, we have 40 monastics from Plum Village, France, who teach under the disciplines of Thich Nhat Hanh, literally outside the front doors of Moscone, sitting and meditating and teaching beginner's mind with all of our participants. How many of you have seen or been with any of the monks yet? Anybody? Have they let you out of this room? Okay, a few people.
Did they go to the U2 concert?
They also went to the U2 concert,
Okay.
yeah. Monks like music too, Alan. We all want to be innovative, and we want to get to the future first. That's what we want for our customers. We want our brands to be known as innovative brands, and I think that's what you're articulating. And the problem is sometimes you push that envelope and you'll break something, or something will go awry. And in other cases, you're like, gee, I can't get there organically. I need to become inorganic. That is, I'm going to acquire. I think for all companies today, this is an important balance that if you want to be committed to innovation, you have to be committed to organic innovation and inorganic. It used to be in our industry, a very common phrase was not invented here, NIH. It's kind of disappearing a little bit in the vocabulary of the next generation CIOs and CEOs. They realize that if you're going to innovate, that you need to include others, and those others may be outside of your company's walls.
We strongly believe that inequality means for us many things, but it means gender equality, so that women have the same opportunities as men, for example.
Mm-hmm. And you recently instituted a large pay raise for many of your employees to even that imbalance out, correct?
We have a broad set of programs to make sure that women not only have opportunities for growth, not only are opportunities for career expansion, but are paid the same as men. And a lot of companies are not willing to look to see, are women paid the same as men? You see that in the movie industry, you see that in a lot of industries where women are paid less than men. It's true in our industry too. CEOs have to take that on. That's one issue.
How do we get Silicon Valley to take that gender pay gap seriously?
How do you do what?
How do you get them to take it seriously? Because you take it seriously. You put, you made action. You took action.
Your women employees have to stand up, men employees have to stand up, and people have to say, I fight for equality. If you are going to fight against inequality, then you have to fight for equality. That is the antidote to inequality. And one of the major elements of inequality is gender inequality. So everyone has to be able to stand up and say, let's make sure that we have gender equality. Another one that's extremely important to us is LGBTQ equality. Well, you referenced Mike Pence in Indiana, who signed a law, basically repressing the rights of the LGBTQ community in Indiana, that we had to fight back by building a coalition of many of the companies in our industry and in this room, and other industries as well. And we were able to do something very important. We turned back the law in Indiana. The same thing happened only about 6 months ago in Georgia. Again, you had another set of state senators, who wanted to hold back LGBTQ equality. It doesn't seem possible, because here we are in San Francisco, city of love, but it is. There's a lot of shit going on out there, and I can tell you that that's like one thing that you've got a set of people who have a lot of hate in their hearts. Okay, they're not kind of the summer of the love people of San Francisco. There's no tie-dye, and it's no LSD, and they're all basically holding them down. And you're like, oh, no, we can free, it's not all right. You're not going to do this to our employees.
Right.
You are going to basically, very simply, have equality for LGBTQ. You see it in North Carolina, where it's still underway, but major sporting organizations like you saw the NCAA just yesterday say,
right,
hey, if you're going to repress transgender in North Carolina, we're not going to do our basketball game there. Good for them. That's the kind of thing that needs to happen. The people need to take a stand. And if you don't take a stand, then I'll tell you that there are a lot of people in this country, Mike Pence and others, who are going to do some very bad things to the people that we love. And those people are my employees. And so when those employees call me and say, hey, you know, I'm in this state, Indiana. We're the largest tech employer in Indiana. So we're not just the largest tech employer in San Francisco, we're the largest tech employer in Indiana. So when those employees call me and say, well, Mark, what are you going to do for me? What do you want me to do? I guess I have two choices. One, I could ignore them and have indifference towards them and say, I'm not going to do anything for you. Or two, I can say, well, I guess we better go change that law because that was a bad law and it needed to change. And fortunately, in Georgia, the governor did not sign the law. Unfortunately, in North Carolina, the governor did sign the law. This is just something that you've got to be willing to take on if you're a leader in our industry. And I am for LGBTQ equality. And also, I believe we have to have greater racial equality in our industry, too. We got to move our standards up. We have to move the numbers up. And next week, we will announce Salesforce's first Chief Equality Officer, reporting directly to me, to own these issues specifically so that on a regular day-to-day basis, this is in my mind, and that I know that I haven't just delegated it down to the functional organizations, but that I can be assured that we are fighting for equality across the whole planet.
Right.
That's really important to me.
Well, I learned something that day. And what I learned is if you are going to connect your business and your philanthropy, you better make sure that it's integrated deep into your culture. That it's not just something that you're going to tack on, but that you're going to build an integrated business. You're going to build an integrated life. You're going to get these things to work deeply together. And you can do it. And when I started my company, Salesforce.com, in 1999, I decided to do three things. One, a radically new technology model called cloud computing. Two, a radically new business model, which was subscription services for software. And three, a radically new philanthropy model, where that day we started the company, we put 1% of our equity, 1% of our profit, and 1% of all of our employees' time into a 501c3 public charity. It was very easy. We had no products. We had no equity. We had no people. It was an easy decision.
What was really exciting to me when I went on the road and talked to all these customers is that there is tremendous community with Salesforce. When I look at all of our customers and how they talk to each other, interact with each other, support each other, help each other, that the community is what's so amazing. And of course, they come back here every year for Dreamforce Indoor. We have 1,000 events like this all over the world happening all the time. And then it kind of hit me, wait, something's wrong with our marketing. You know, yes, our marketing is kind of like, you might wonder, you know, we're out all on that right now on a family camping trip. Which is something that we're working on at this conference, trying this out, this new branding idea.
The trees.
The trees, the family.
But the food is
stuff.
Better than the average camping trip.
Better,
That's
okay,
good.
there you go. But then I noticed that, gee, yeah, our marketing is still not completely there because here's one of our great customers right here talking about a whole new way to deliver personalized care, but he's standing by himself. That is not Salesforce. Salesforce does not allow any customer to stand by themselves. Nor do Salesforce customers feel like they're alone. Salesforce customers actually feel that they're part of a community. And it's kind of back to my conversation with Mary earlier, which is, it's like how my wife feels about her 71 Blazer, and I'll give you an example. Other people who are driving by who have that relationship with GM and feel that in their heart, they honk and wave. I don't know, because she's so, I have a beautiful wife, so I'm like, maybe that's why they're honking and waving. But maybe it's because they all connect with the 71 Blazer. And I think for a lot of our companies, probably more than we're willing to believe, that we are more, we use this word, and I loved what you said because it's something I've said so many times, and it's something I'm going to try to stop saying, which is I'll say, it's so important to connect with the customer, and we want to be connected with our customer in new ways, and we really want to go deeper with our customer. I really want to go deeper with our community. I really want to connect with our community in new ways. And when I look at our customers, the communities that they have, that is their greatest asset.
Yeah.
Like if I look at Louis Vuitton, it's not just the one person who is holding this beautiful bag, but it's the person who comes by and says, I love that bag too. I have one of those. And there's something very powerful that's happening, I think, in the world that I think that if we all tap into, we can all take our companies to a higher level and a more powerful level. And it's a little bit to the antidote to inequality as well, which is when we all come together in community, that's when we can fight back even the darkest forces.